You know, sometimes it's the smallest things in life that quietly change our health in the biggest ways. And one of those little things is a small bowl of cottage cheese before bed. Sounds simple, maybe even too ordinary to matter. But after decades of working with people over 60, I've come to call it the night guard of your muscles. Think about it: when you fall asleep, your body goes 8 hours without any nutrition. That's fine when you're young, but at our age, muscles get broken down more easily, slowly fading with each passing night. And this is where cottage cheese steps in. The protein inside casein works like a gentle stream flowing slowly, feeding your muscles for 6 to 8 hours straight. I remember David, a 68-year-old patient of mine. He told me, "Doctor, after just a few weeks of eating a small bowl of cottage cheese before bed, I wake up in the morning without that heavy, tired feeling anymore." And when he said it, I could see a new spark of confidence in his eyes. So let me ask you, have you ever woken up in the morning feeling weaker than you did the day before and not knowing why? If you have, try keeping a little container of cottage cheese in your fridge, because sometimes it's that one simple habit that makes the difference between just sleeping through the night and truly nourishing your muscles while you rest. Have you ever gone for a walk around the block, or maybe done a bit of gardening and then sat down only to feel your legs aching and worn out? At this age, our muscles aren't as eager as they used to be. They crave nutrients, and if we miss that moment, the chance for quick recovery slips away. That's when ricotta comes in. Think of it as a trusted friend, ready to rush in and support your muscles exactly when they need it. Unlike slower proteins, ricotta is packed with whey protein, the fastest absorbing protein you can eat. Within 30 to 60 minutes, it's already at work. It's like sending bricks straight to a construction site right when the workers are standing there waiting to build. I remember Martha, 72 years old. After her gardening sessions, her arms would tremble with fatigue. I suggested she try a small serving of ricotta afterward. A few weeks later, she came back smiling, "Doctor, now I can carry a whole box of flowers out to the garden without feeling so drained." I want you to picture this: a simple slice of toast with ricotta honey and a sprinkle of cinnamon after your walk. That's not a luxury, it's a quiet form of self-care. A reminder to your body that says, "I still want you to be strong for one more day." You know, sometimes what looks like just a garnish can actually hold a treasure for your health. Parmesan is a perfect example. Most people think of it as nothing more than a sprinkle over pasta. But to me, after years of listening to the stories of patients over 60, Parmesan is like a quiet teacher reminding us about resilience. Just a small piece the size of your thumb holds more than 10 grams of protein, plus enough calcium to nourish both your muscles and your bones. I often tell my patients, your muscles can't contract without calcium, just like your heart can't beat without rhythm. And isn't it remarkable that one cheese can do both: help build muscle and fuel each contraction that keeps you moving? What makes Parmesan truly special is the way it's aged. Over 2 years, natural enzymes do the hard work for you, breaking down proteins into smaller, easier to digest pieces. That's why even people who complain about bloating or discomfort after eating protein often find Parmesan gentle on the stomach. I remember Mr. James, 75 years old. He was hesitant at first, saying, "Doctor, I can't eat cheese, it upsets my stomach." I gave him a piece of authentic long-aged Parmesan cut right from the wheel. A few weeks later, he came back and told me, "Now I sprinkle it over steamed vegetables and my stomach doesn't complain at all. In fact, I feel steadier on my feet when I go down the steps." So the next time you pick up that little spoonful of Parmesan to add to your meal, don't think of it as just flavor. Think of it as feeding both your muscles and your bones, laying down one more brick in the strong foundation of your health. And here's the second part you shared. I often tell my patients, your muscles don't wait until dinner to grow. And yet so many of us eat almost nothing in the morning, just nibble through lunch and then load up on meat and protein at night. Sound familiar? But the body, especially after 60, simply doesn't work that way. Picture this: you've got a plant in your garden. If you let it go dry all day, then dump a big bucket of water on it at night, do you think it can drink it all in? Of course not. Most of it just runs off. Our muscles are no different. After 60, they can only use about 25 to 30 grams of protein at a time. Anything beyond that isn't helping muscle growth, it's just wasted. I remember Linda, 70 years old. She asked me, "Doctor, why do I still feel weak even though I eat a huge steak at dinner?" I encouraged her to spread her protein out some at breakfast, more at lunch, and just the right amount at dinner. After 2 months, she came back smiling. "Now I can get up from a chair without pushing on the armrests." It made me realize something important often. It's not about eating more, but about eating at the right times. feeding your muscles steadily the way you'd give a plant sunlight throughout the day, not just one burst at sunset. Every balanced meal with enough protein becomes a quiet promise to your muscles. I'm here for you every single day. There's one question I hear all the time. Doctor, how long will it take before I really feel a difference in my body? I usually smile and say, give yourself at least 60 to 90 days. That's the window science shows us. If you keep up a small daily habit, like adding a serving of protein-rich cheese to your meals, your muscles will begin to answer back with positive signals. I've seen it happen with so many patients. Take Harold, 74 years old. He used to walk slowly, clinging to the railing just to make it up the stairs. But he stayed consistent: cottage cheese in the morning, a little Parmesan at lunch, and ricotta in the evening. 3 months later, he walked into my clinic, taller, steadier, and whispered to me, Doctor, I can walk around the park now without being afraid of falling. You see, strength and balance don't return in a single day, and they don't come from a magic pill. It's more like planting a seed. Every meal, every portion of cheese you add is a drop of water, a bit of sunlight nurturing your body. And after 90 days, you look back and realize standing up feels easier, walking feels more confident, and in your heart, there's a quiet reassurance that age is not an unbreakable barrier. So here's what I want you to do. Set a marker for yourself, 90 days from today. Write it down. Keep track of the little changes and let your body tell you its own story of recovery. I still remember the first time I explained it to a patient. Our muscles are like a locked door. To open it, you need both the key and the hand to turn it. That turning hand is movement, simple exercises like standing up and sitting down a few times or pressing your palms against the wall. It may seem small, but for muscles that have carried you through 60 or more years, it's a gentle wake-up call. But waking them up isn't enough. Once those muscles open the door through movement, they need the right nutrients immediately to rebuild. And that's where a small serving of cheese, cottage, Parmesan, or ricotta becomes the second key. When movement and nutrition meet, they create a powerful synergy. Scientists even call it the restoration of a youthful muscle response, meaning your body reacts to protein as if you were decades younger, even at 70 or 80. I think of Evelyn, 79 years old. She used to tell me, Doctor, I'm too weak for weights. I just can't do it. I told her, start simple, stand up from your chair 10 times, then reward yourself with a small bowl of ricotta with honey. 3 months later, she walked back into my office, her eyes bright, and said, now I can carry my grocery bags myself without asking anyone for help. And that's when it struck me, you don't need a gym, you don't need complicated machines. Just a few minutes of gentle movement followed by a little cheese, and you're rewriting the story of your own strength. There's something many people tend to forget. Muscle strength doesn't just come from the muscle itself. It also depends on those wires quietly connecting your brain to every tiny fiber. I'm talking about your nervous system. And for those wires to carry signals smoothly, your body needs vitamin B12, a nutrient that cheese happens to be rich in. I remember one of my patients, Rose, 71 years old. She used to complain, Doctor, sometimes I just reach for a cup and my hand shakes, it doesn't listen to me. When I checked, she was low in vitamin B12. I encouraged her to add a little cheese to her daily meals, not only to support her muscles with protein, but also to nourish her nerves. A few months later, she came back beaming, now I can sew again. The needle and thread don't slip from my hands anymore. You see, movement, whether it's stepping down the stairs or keeping your balance as you turn, depends on that harmony between muscles and nerves. If you're low on B12, the brain sends the message, but the muscles get it late. That's when you stumble or even fall. But when you're well-nourished, every step feels firmer, every motion more precise. So next time you add a slice of cheese to your meal, don't think of it as just flavor. Remember, you're also strengthening those silent wires inside, helping your legs, your arms, and even your confidence move in rhythm with life. There's probably nothing that worries older adults more than an unexpected fall. One slip in the bathroom, one misstep on the stairs, and suddenly life changes. I've seen too many patients lose not just their health, but also their confidence after a single fall. But here's something fascinating. Research has shown people who get enough protein from dairy, especially cheese, are less likely to fall. Why? Because strong muscles keep your feet steady and a strong nervous system helps you react quickly if you lose balance. Cheese supports both protein for the muscles and vitamins and minerals for the nerves. I remember Robert, 76 years old. He was afraid to go outside because he worried about falling. I suggested he start his mornings with cottage cheese and add a little Parmesan at lunch. 3 months later, he came back and told me, Doctor, I just walked through the park with my grandson. I used to be scared, but now I feel so much more confident. I want you to picture this: every time you add a serving of cheese to your diet, you're not just nourishing your body, you're quietly weaving a safety net to protect yourself from those unexpected falls. It's not magic, it's the slow reward of daily consistency. And sometimes that one small habit determines how long you'll keep walking strong and free on your life's path. I often tell my patients strength doesn't just come from your muscles, it starts in your gut. Strange as it sounds, your gut is like a little garden. If the garden is thriving, your whole body thrives. And the secret lies in pairing protein-rich cheese with fiber-rich foods, fresh vegetables, fruits, or whole grains. When these two come together, your body not only absorbs protein more efficiently, it also feeds the good bacteria in your gut. That healthy microbiome helps lower inflammation, and silent inflammation is one of the biggest hidden enemies of muscle loss as we age. I think of Helen, 69 years old, who often felt bloated, tired, and weaker by the day. I suggested a simple change: cottage cheese with berries in the morning, parmesan over her salad at lunch. A few months later, she told me, "Doctor, my stomach feels calmer now, and when I stand up from my chair, my legs don't tremble like before." So you see, a simple meal, cheese with vegetables or fruit, can be a double medicine, feeding your muscles and your gut at the same time. And I truly believe when you care for the garden inside, the steps you take outside become stronger, steadier, and full of life. So here we are at the end of our journey together, from a small bowl of cottage cheese quietly protecting your muscles at night, to Parmesan rich in calcium, to ricotta gently restoring your body after a walk. By now, maybe you see it too. Health never comes from one grand act in a single day. It comes from the small habits repeated faithfully, like morning sunlight that returns without fail. Ask yourself this: 3 months from now, how do you want to see yourself? Still struggling with shaky steps, or standing tall with stronger legs, steadier hands, and a deeper confidence? The answer begins at your table with the simple choices you make today. If you give your body the chance by adding the right cheeses at the right times consistently each day, then after 60 to 90 days, you'll feel the difference. Gentle, but undeniable. Just like many of my patients have, and maybe you'll be the next. Remember, this age is not a sentence of weakness. It's simply a reminder to be wiser in how we nourish ourselves. And I believe that every small serving of cheese paired with daily movement is a promise that years from now, you'll still be walking strong, steady, and free.